Okay, good evening, everyone. Now, welcome to the world premiere reading of Not Myself, a brand new play by me, Sean O'Brien. Now, we are Skipping Stones Theater, a Toronto-based independent theater collective whose mandate is exploring theater through the lens of mental health and neurodiversity. Now, if you'd like to learn more about our work or join the mailing list, we are on all the social medias under @SkippingStonesTheater, and all of our links are posted below. Now, of course, I have a couple of acknowledgements to make. Now, we acknowledge first and foremost the traditional caretakers of the lands from which we are performing tonight. If you're in the Toronto area like myself, that would primarily refer to the Anishinaabe, the Chippewa, the Haudenosaunee, the Wendat, and the Mississaugas of the New Credits. And of course, we fully acknowledge any people's acknowledged, unacknowledged, stories told and untold from these traditional lands that we are privileged to be on. Now, this moment in history, though, it does seem to call for just a little bit more acknowledgement, specifically. So the themes explored in this piece have nothing directly to do with the political events that have unfolded over the last week. Instead, the play addresses identity and the way our beliefs inform our actions. Now, I think more than ever, the most important acknowledgement I can make is that I tell this, story from a position of great privilege that often feels like it's at the expense of many other people. I don't know what the answer is to all this. We occupy a dark moment in history, and the sheer scale of it can seem overwhelming. As with many other challenging times, I do believe that our only way forward is for our compassion to overrule our suspicion and judgment of others. And if you are, like me, a white presenting Canadian, whether or not you've actively or you feel that you have actively participated in oppression, that's not relevant. Not when people are taking to the streets to protest being murdered by those whose job is to serve and protect. We need to be better than this. Now, my own learning process on the topic of racial justice is new and ongoing and inadequate, but we have links below to blacklivesmatter.ca if you want to learn more and support this movement financially or otherwise. Now, if you've got an organization that you're more familiar with addressing racial justice in your community, feel free to promote it. Drop that into the comments below. I'm sure we're all happy to learn about it. Now, I hope that this story that we are about to tell has something positive to offer you all in whatever way, shape, or form. And I thank you so much for coming to hear it. And now, please enjoy the first public reading of Not Myself. Scene 1, entry point. A motel room. Joanne and Paul are sitting in silence. There's muffled sounds of the deprogramming coming from next door. Paul is drinking in bed. Joanne is working on a laptop and drinking somewhere else.
Want to hear something crazy?
Sure.
We just kidnapped our daughter.
Really?
Broad daylight, right outside Union. No one suspected a thing.
You expressing pride or remorse right now?
Somewhere right down the middle. How do you think she's doing?
Confused, upset, angry?
She was so quiet, though. I expected some kind of reaction. Screaming, thrashing, trying to open the car door, something.
It bothers you that she didn't do that?
Yes, actually.
We're lucky she didn't. You were having a hard enough time finding the gas pedal.
How's work?
All the patients are dying of Alzheimer's.
I was just asking.
You were changing the subject.
I froze. I'm sorry. Did you want to keep talking about this?
We can change the subject.
Do you have much more to do?
Hopefully not. I think I'm close to tying this all together.
So why are you making me drink alone?
I'm drinking right next to you.
Drink with me instead.
The report needs to be submitted by the end of the weekend.
You couldn't get an extension? Mitigating circumstances.
That would involve confessing to a crime.
How about delegating?
Paul, stop it. There's nothing else to do while we wait, so I'm doing this. Just put on the TV or something.
What are you working on? I'm interested.
Cleaning up the data.
Sounds important.
It's a lot of busy work.
What makes it dirty?
What?
You're cleaning it up. Why is it dirty?
Oh, so the problem with the clinical trial data is that there's always a lot of outliers, anomalies. Sometimes you just need to find the answer under the surface. Clean it up, maybe expand what you're looking for.
So you're trying to figure out a different use for the drug than what you were actually researching for.
It's basically routine for new medicine. The first antidepressants were meant for treating allergies. People's loved ones disappear once they have this illness. The drug slows it down. That's what matters. I just need the data to cooperate.
Can you get it to cooperate tomorrow? Please?
Fine.
She closes
She
the
isn't-
laptop.
She isn't going to disappear.
I know.
You almost said we all disappear.
Maybe.
I can hear you even when you're not talking.
That's creepy.
I've been creepy since we met.
That's true. You didn't used to drink this much, though.
It hasn't been a sobriety kind of year.
I know. I'm just worried.
I'm not going to disappear either. We're not going to lose our daughter. Everything's going to be fine. We'll discover the secrets of the aging brain and conquer Alzheimer's. Our international political bodies will finally cooperate over the most pressing issues facing our planet, and we'll find peace in our time and solve the climate crisis. It's also possible that none of those things will happen, but none of it requires you taking on the whole burden yourself.
A shadow moves in the bathroom, just visible through the open door.
Ever since we've met, the most frustrating thing about you is that I can't tell how much of what you say is sarcastic.
I pride myself on being unpredictable and creepy.
And the worst part is you think you're cute.
Never call that into question.
Paul finishes his drink and starts walking towards the bathroom. The shadow moves again, vanishing before he walks in and turns on the light. He closes the door. After a moment, we hear water running. Joanne becomes restless, attempting to relax, but her focus is drawn to the laptop. She grabs a remote and turns on the TV instead, flipping through channels.
Anything good on?
There's a pretty good add-on for phone sex.
I'm a married man.
You're boring.
I'm dependable.
I thought you were unpredictable.
I'm complex.
Joanne flips through another couple of channels when suddenly something under the bed knocks on the bed frame, causing the whole thing to jolt upward. The channel she stops on is some kind of motivational speaker or televangelist. The speaker on the TV should be ranting about surrendering yourself over to a greater power or freeing yourself from the trappings of modern life or something else along those lines. In the meantime, Joanne is initially startled into stillness by the bump from under the bed. After a breathless pause, she starts crawling over to one side and hops off of it, stepping away from the edge, staring at the dark space beneath. After a moment to psych herself up, she grabs the edge of the covers and lifts them to see under the bed. A thud is heard from inside the bathroom.
Oh! Ugh.
Paul?
Oh!
Paul!
Oh! Stubbed my fucking toe.
Jesus, you scared me.
Sorry, I'll stub my toe in more quiet resolve.
You should just wear shoes at all times.
Steel toes. Teach that sink to mess with me. Why are you watching a televangelist?
If you can't beat 'em, join 'em?
That's the darkest thing you've said all night.
What's the name of that thing where you feel like you're falling asleep, but actually feel like you're following and jerk awake?
Proof that there is a God and he created the human brain is a cruel joke.
I don't like how prepared you were with that answer. I thought there was something under the bed.
Paul gracefully scoops the computer up and slides it neatly under the bed.
There is now.
I wasn't going to.
You didn't think you were going to. Slight difference.
I shouldn't have taught you about the split brain patient experiments.
The guy tried to open and close a door at the same time. Each hand had a mind of its own.
Okay, it's not that the hands had minds of their own.
You know what I mean. Every person is at least two different people. The two brain halves just happen to talk to each other.
So your interpretation is that each of us is a married couple who got married to another married couple.
Yes. The two of us are actually four different people.
Okay, but that's not... I can't break down all the leaps you just took there. I'm too tired.
She turns off the TV.
All right, sorry. Are you going to be able to sleep tonight?
No, probably not. I just thought of something crazy.
Yeah?
We just kidnapped our daughter.
We decided that...
I hope she knows it's because we love her.
She will.
They turn out the lights. After an extended silence, the light from a laptop computer shines underneath the bed. Scene 2. Authority. Katrina appears at something resembling a pulpit. She addresses the audience as though they were her followers. A schlocky slideshow to accompany her would be great.
We should be happy, shouldn't we? The poorest person in this room lives with the material and social means that would make the kings of old mad with envy. More and more people in our world are overworked. Fewer and fewer can scrape together a few $100s in an emergency. In the meantime, our planet is trying desperately to shake us off with water, wind, and fire. We have all this material, and we're miserable. Could it be that seeking answers in the material was the wrong path all along? Don't let yourself be too troubled. There is hope for the future, and it comes with relearning the forgotten truths of the world around us. Does anyone here believe in fairies? Raise your hands if you believe in fairies. Oh, clap your hands if you believe in fairies. Okay. There's no such thing as fairies. I know. Sorry to disappoint. But if you trace back the ancient knowledge that the idea of fairies derived from, you have something interesting. We never really lost that idea, but we did corrupt it in a sea of facts.
Katrina pauses as though in a played-back video, which it is. Theo and Aaron are sitting in a small motel room.
Don't lie. You were hoping she was going to say that fairies are real.
How'd you get this video anyway?
Social media. Her website is surprisingly slick. I guess you don't have internet access on the compound, right?
I knew she had a website and stuff. The videos are just new.
Great recruiting tool.
Great recruiting tool.
You gonna shit or get off the pot?
What?
You've been eyeing the phone, the door, a bunch of other stuff. It's really tough to have a conversation. You want to leave? Just leave. No one's stopping you.
You're fucking with me.
Yes, and it is fun.
If I got up and walked out the door right now, you would do nothing to stop me.
I'd ask you very nicely to stay.
You kidnapped me.
I got into the seat next to you as your dad started driving.
My alternative was to fight you and try to hop out of the moving car.
Yeah, and thank you for not doing that because it's happened before.
There's a phone on that table. I could call the cops.
Are you thinking of doing that?
I'm assessing my options.
You could also just leave. Tell the front desk you've been abducted.
That's some reverse psychology. What actually happens if I try to leave?
I've already told you. Door's right there.
The chain's drawn.
You can unlock it.
That would take a couple of extra seconds.
Worth pondering on. While you're at it, I have a question. Why'd you come out to visit your parents in the first place?
A lapse in judgment?
Tell me about that.
No.
Fair enough. Do you want to see them?
No.
They're in the other room if you change your mind. We're here for the whole long weekend. After that, if you want to go back, I'll drive you there myself. It'll be a lot safer than hitchhiking 300 kilometers, don't you think?
I have a... Did you cancel the...
Yeah, they canceled the return trip, yes. Just because you're free to go doesn't mean that we want to make this easy for you.
Just how many hoops are you jumping through to make this look like less of a straight up kidnapping?
Well, I have somehow never been to prison.
How many times have you done this?
This isn't the only thing I've done that could put me in prison.
That's ominous.
I was in a doomsday church with questionable fundraising practices.
Doomsday church. Interesting you didn't just call it a cult.
Well, it was a cult.
Why did you leave?
If you'd have asked me back then, I would have said something about freedom, carving out my own path, etc. Looking at it now, I just wanted to get laid. Being celibate was all right as long as everyone else was doing it, but then out of nowhere, it turns out that half the women were Jomo's wives, including the girl that I had a crush on. He said something about readying the next generation with his seed or something. It was gross.
Jomo.
It was the late 90s. He was the cool prophet. Funny thing about cults, they keep revolving around sex somehow. Makes sense if they're all run by men, right?
You said it, not me. The world we seek to build is one of equity and balance.
After this world has ended.
Our species is being compelled towards its own extinction. Our role is to lay the foundations of the world to come.
Wouldn't it be more productive to prevent that extinction event to begin with?
We are being exterminated. The ants cannot defeat the technician, but they can find a place to hide and await the moment when it is safe to repopulate.
Technicians, huh?
It's a metaphor.
For what?
Oh, this is pointless. You're pointless. Oh, I can't believe my parents wasted their money on you. I'll just get them to take me back.
How welcome do you think you'll be if you go back to Katrina now? Oh! You paused. Come on. Your parents hired an exit counselor the last time you came to visit, but Katrina signs you off to visit again? No. So what is it? A recruiting mission? Fundraising? Intimidating a runaway? Whatever it was, you can't go back empty-handed.
You're not open to being recruited.
It wouldn't be a recruitment because I am one of those runaways.
Oh, okay.
Neither of us thinks that we can persuade the other. We'll go all in, we'll marathon this thing, deprive ourselves of sleep for a couple of days, get real impressionable, you know? Your first weekend workshop was 18-hour days, right?
I can handle all-nighters. Won't you get tired?
Oh, I'm jacked up on taurine. I want this to be a fair fight.
You being wired makes this a fair fight?
No. The fact that both of us want the other one to win makes this a fair fight.
I don't want you to win.
Then I guess you've got the advantage.
Fine. What now?
Theo stands up and goes to the table for a pizza box. He brings the whole thing back to the chair and sits down contentedly, eating a slice.
I was starting to get hangry. Do you want a slice?
That stuff will kill you.
So will the passage of time. Pick your battles.
That's a lame excuse for living like shit and eating like shit and drinking like shit. You probably shit like shit. Disposable toilet paper?
That's more insight than I needed.
You asked for it. These are my beliefs. The world's fucked up because of toilet paper and energy drinks and fossil fuels and you.
What can I get you that you would eat? Nothing? Okay.
Theo puts the pizza box down on the floor.
I'm not here to mock you. If you won't eat, we won't eat.
You'll brainwash me while hangry?
I like to be challenged.
Katrina resumes motion, though is now resuming a different lecture and holding a revolver.
The most beautiful part of yourself can never be destroyed.
She says, holding a loaded gun.
I want to give you something today. Something special that was given to me through years of mindful study and travel. I want you to live a life truly stripped of fear for yourself. Only through that kind of radical freedom can you start to build a better world. Let's start with the science. Your body is nothing. It's a collection of atoms. You are made of the same stuff as everything else, and you cycle through your materials every few years. Nothing constant, nothing beautiful, just neat. Now, the quantum state of every particle in your body leads to an infinite number of potential universes, and all of these realities exist at once. In other words, you're not just nothing. You're a nothing in an infinite brocade of nothings. Consider that a moment.
She's really good at this. Get you at your most nihilistic before moving on.
But amid all of that, you are endowed with a single beautiful spirit. It cannot be destroyed or replaced. The universe gave it to you, and it is your constant amid the flux. This revolver has 5 of its 6 chambers loaded. If I put this to my head and pull the trigger, there's an 83% chance that it will fire a bullet. That does mean that, unfortunately, in most potential worlds, you'll watch me die and I won't be able to guide you any further. But my one spirit will follow the path where I continue to live. You can't occupy a body if that body has died. Therefore, I cannot experience death even if I pull this trigger now.
Great shit. Did she do that one with you?
Yes,
How many times?
I'm not sure.
And what comes next?
You're going to show me anyway.
I don't have to. What does she do?
You know what she does, I know what she does. You'll say it's a party trick, I'll say it's science.
You can say anything is science by putting scientific words next to it. It's like how you can sell anything to idiots by calling it tactical.
My deprogrammer, ladies and gentlemen.
You know that the quantum suicide is only meant as a thought experiment, right?
That's because science frowns upon shooting at hundreds of people systematically.
Cool sounding ideas that nobody can disapprove. What better way to start a religion, right?
Oh my God, who cares? You think I live on that compound because she does a cool thing with a gun? I live with a community that shares my ideals. You and my parents are the ones who decided I'm crazy.
People don't respond well when we fall for beautiful ideas. They take it personally.
You're a mercenary. You have no idea what it's like to have a real purpose.
It's been a while, but I do remember exactly what it feels like.
Look, whatever you're going through is your business. You probably think that this is going to turn into some kind of Beauty and the Beast, Stockholm Syndrome, Patty Hearst sort of thing, depending on which circuit's broken inside you.
Again, you're not really my captive.
I totally am, so quit gaslighting me. You've been dreaming of kidnapping a teenage girl and dragging her to a motel, and now I'm your first victim, and you have no idea what you're doing. You even have anyone in your life who loves you back?
People take turns.
You're a fucking mess, aren't you?
Maybe I just need a beautiful idea to fall for.
God damn it.
Scene 3, recruitment. Paul, Joanne, and Theo sitting at a coffee shop.
And you left on your own?
In a sense, they say that no one really joins a cult. They just put it off. They just put off the decision to leave. One day, I just stopped putting it off.
And your rate?
Expenses only. When this is all over, if you want, I will accept a donation. That's up to you.
You make a living this way?
I have a day job.
Lights up on Erin, talking to a recruiter she's met in a university campus.
Yeah, I'm living in Res. I'm from Toronto originally, so the commute would have been like a lot. I've never lived away from home. How about you?
You're sure she won't be hurt?
I can't claim a completely clean record, but when injuries do happen, they've usually been self-inflicted, like trying to climb out windows, dancing to exhaustion, that sort of thing.
Well, my dad's a teacher, so I was thinking of maybe teachers college after this, but I don't know.
Dancing to exhaustion?
Well, Katrina's arc is more the running on the spot ritual. Cardio meditation is what they call it.
Making new friends, probably. I don't really know anyone here yet, so I'm nervous about that.
Won't she find it suspicious that we're renting a two-door to pick her up?
Probably. Just tell her that the family car got into a fender bender.
We have 2 cars.
It would have been great if one of them was a two-door.
We didn't want a two-door. We didn't plan our purchases around daylight kidnappings.
Lots of people buy two-doors, and only some of them are for kidnapping.
Your plan leans way too hard on us getting a two-door. If your backup plan is to get a windowless van, we're leaving.
In general? Well, climate change, obviously. I was at the big march last year. Don't know if it really did anything, but we have to try, right? Greta's a total inspiration. Being a real leader at her age, just wow. You know? For me, it's just like, what am I even doing with my life?
Okay. Are both of your cars purchases or leases?
Mine's bought, his is leased.
The lease won't be up for a couple more years, though.
Would Aaron know that?
Maybe. Probably not.
Lease is up on Paul's car. Joanne's got dinged by some asshat running a red. Sorry, Aaron, we had to pick you up in a rental today, but we are so happy to see you. Sound plausible?
I guess so.
Yeah, that would work.
If you guys are doing stuff like that, that's cool. Obviously, we need to start figuring out ways to live more sustainably, sourcing your food from nature, that sort of thing.
Now, Joanne, you'll be the one who goes into the station to greet her. Big hug reunion, tears of joy, etc. Paul, you'll have the car out running to roll out. There's no real parking, so it'll make sense why you're staying in the driver's seat with the gas running. Cool?
Super cool.
As she's buckling up, I get into the seat beside her. You push the seat back. The moment the door is closed, you start driving.
When I was growing up, my parents and I had this stupid tradition where after soccer practice, they'd always heat up this canned spaghetti. Of course, I wasn't thinking about it at the time. All food is food when you're a kid, right? I loved it, but I wish I'd been given better habits.
Look, I want to go ahead with this, but we've hired an exit counselor in the past, someone with credentials and experience.
It didn't work.
Yes, but why would that mean someone without credentials and experience would do better?
I have experience.
You won't let us talk to any of your previous clients.
Yeah, I'm a criminal. The thing that you've asked me to do is a crime. I'm not sharing contact info, and you should be glad that I don't.
I get it. It's just a bit convenient.
I mean, if you guys are doing anything like that, I'm definitely interested. I mean, it's our future, right? We should be treating it like an emergency, and nobody's even trying.
Paul, what else do you think we should do?
This isn't about whether or not we should do it. This is about should he be the one doing it.
What do you want to do? Put an ad on Kijiji?
Just a referral would be all it takes.
Nobody we know talks about the time their kid was deprogrammed from a cult.
Look, I understand your concern. I'm not accepting money up front, and if you decide not to pay at all after this, I can't really do much to stop you. I came to you because I want to help. If you don't want to take me up on this offer, you don't have to. You want me to go. Do you want me to go to the bathroom so you can confer without me?
No, that's okay.
Well, I'm going anyways because the coffee runs right through me. I wanted it to look like a gesture instead of my basic human needs, but here we are.
Okay.
Peed my pants once while selling books for the cult on the street. You're not allowed to leave your post when you're fundraising.
I want to reconnect with nature. I'm looking around me here and I'm not seeing a real way to do that. So yeah, Frost is pretty busy, but I think I've got time next weekend if you're giving us a lift.
So you really want to do this?
We're never going to see our daughter again if we don't. The next time we hear about her will be on the news because they all...
Oh, yeah. You guys aren't a cult, are you? No slipping LSD into the Kool-Aid or anything?
I don't know. I'm trying to make sense of why she left the way she did. The letters she wrote afterward, the idea that our little girl wrote those things.
I guess it'd be pretty hard to brainwash someone over a weekend.
You can't just pull a person out of their body and put someone else in, right?
That's what brainwashing is, Paul. She's in a cult. You get that, right?
I don't really know anyone else here, but I could ask some people from my floor if they're interested in joining.
I just didn't think she was the kind of person who could fall for this kind of thing.
Scene 4, yielding control. Morning in Joanne and Paul's room. Joanne sits on a chair next to the bed with her laptop open. She's laser focused on the task at hand. Paul stirs and wakes. He sees Joanne working. He goes to the bathroom. We hear him going through his morning hygiene routine. There's a pause. He returns to the room.
You haven't unpacked your toothbrush yet.
I guess not.
You haven't brushed your teeth since we left the house yesterday.
That's a very assumptive timeline.
You did brush your teeth yesterday morning.
No response. Paul shrugs and goes back into the bathroom. Joanne puts the laptop on the ground in front of the bed, nudging it underneath with her foot. She puts her face in her hands, leaning forward in exhaustion. Something pushes the laptop back out from under the bed, gently touching it to her toes. She is slightly startled, but not afraid. She picks up the laptop again, opens it, and gets back to work.
You think Theo and Aaron got any sleep?
It seems quiet in there now.
You think it's a good idea he keeps them awake?
It's part of his battle of the wills thing.
I still think it sounds crazy.
We sent her to university. She was going to be pulling all-nighters anyway.
That's not even close to the
Shut
same
up
thing.
about this. I'm not relitigating our decision. We let him do this the way that he explained it. That's it.
Well, at least he said we can check in on them today, right?
You do what you want. Theo said he'd let us know when to come in, when to heat the spaghetti, all of that. She's our daughter and we're paying him, so if you want to poke your head in early and say hi, go right ahead. I'm not arguing with you.
I'm not trying to argue.
So what are you doing?
Talking about the biggest thing on my mind. Sorry.
Does my breath smell that bad?
What?
You're distracted by the smell.
You smell it too.
That's why you brought up the toothbrush.
It's not that. I think it's the room.
Don't walk it back now.
I'm serious. There is a weird smell, a rotten egg sort of smell, but not in a bad way.
Joanne gets up and goes into the bathroom. We hear her starting to brush her teeth. Paul wanders around the room, looking for the source of the weird smell. He arrives at the bed. He sniffs a bit closer. He moves the covers around. Finally, he looks under the bed. Nothing. 2 phones buzz at once. Paul walks over to one of them and checks the message on it.
Honey,
Mm-hmm.
I think Katrina has our phone numbers.
What?
Katrina's texting us.
What?
Look,
Huh.
specifically, Katrina's threatening us via text.
That's not a threat.
Release Aaron immediately or necessary steps will be taken.
It's a vague threat. In any case, she signed off on the trip.
So what's this? She changed her mind? How'd she get our numbers anyway?
We're in the phone book, Paul.
Or Aaron gave them to her. Maybe she told her other things about us too, like where we live.
That doesn't matter right now.
Quit being dismissive. We're in the middle of deprogramming our daughter, and her cult leader is texting us, warning us to let her go.
I'm not being dismissive. The only thing that matters right now is saving Aaron. What are you going to do with this? You want them to take her away again?
No, and you know I wasn't.
So we're doing what we're doing. End of discussion.
And what do we do if she comes looking for us? Call the cops and explain how we abducted our daughter and now someone's trying to abduct her back?
She's not going to come out here. It's not like she even has a way of knowing where we are.
You never know what these people can do. You're the one who said you were scared that they'd end up in a mass suicide.
I don't care what they do to themselves or each other. We have Erin and they're not getting her back. And quit looking out the window like they're already in the parking lot.
They could be.
All right, calm down and think it through. You think she's tracking her phone's location?
No, we turned it off. Could she be tracking our phones?
It's unlikely, but I'll admit it's a possibility.
If they think Aaron knows information that could be used against them, coming after her would be worth the risk, right?
You're making a series of jumps. We don't know enough about how they do things.
So that means all possibilities are valid.
No, it means we need to minimize our assumptions. Focus on what's likely.
No, fuck that. It's a fucking cult. They're doing dark shit, and they have our numbers, and they just sent us a threat. And Theo hasn't replied yet.
It's been less than 30 seconds. Paul, you need to calm down. Sit, breathe, focus.
Oh, God.
I said sit.
Paul sits. He breathes, then sniffs the air.
Okay, I know you brushed your teeth this time. You seriously don't smell it, too.
How are you so easily distracted?
I also apparently sit on command.
You were a puppy in a previous life.
Never grew up to be a full dog. Tragic.
Your puppyhood was frozen in time for all of us to enjoy.
Paul pulls out his phone and starts texting.
Please tell me you aren't replying.
I'm texting Theo again.
He's next door. Just go talk to him. You haven't looked at her since you got in the car,
Neither of you.
but you're afraid to. It's that look you mentioned before, right? What did you think you saw?
She opens her laptop while Paul is talking.
I don't know. Just my imagination, I guess. I'm seeing things. I'm smelling things. I'm just going cuckoo bananas. Ignore me. Just go pick up your laptop and never fucking mind.
What do you want me to do instead? Pace and whine?
You've got to be kidding me.
I can't risk my job right now. You know this.
Joanne, we could fucking survive without your income for a little while. Besides, if you're really so irreplaceable that you're the only one that can do this right now, why would it matter if you could extend past the deadline a bit?
Okay, whatever you think of my project or my role, this is important.
Important. You raised no objections to me taking time off for this. Are you saying my job isn't important?
Do not make this about you. Why would you even infer that from what I'm saying?
I just don't get why you can't put that bullshit down for 2 seconds. Yeah, I'm calling it bullshit. The drug doesn't do what it's supposed to, so you're putting a different hat on it.
A different hat?
Oh, whatever. The company will make money, and that's the full scope of who benefits from what you're doing right now.
If the project fails, then hundreds of millions of dollars go unrecouped. We take enough hits like that, the company goes under and our research ends. Who benefits then?
I'm not saying let the company go out of business. All I mean is the world won't end if you take the weekend off.
I don't want to take weekends off, okay? Why are we talking about our jobs right now anyway?
You pulled out your fucking laptop while I was talking about Aaron.
Okay, fine. You want to talk about our daughter? Let's talk about our daughter.
We lost our daughter. There must have been something we did wrong along the way, but I have no idea what it is, and now she hates us.
She doesn't hate us, she's just angry.
You didn't see the look. I've seen Aaron angry before. Hell, I've seen anger from so many kids, and I know it's always temporary. But that one look from her in the back seat shortened my life by a year. I know it. She hates us.
Both phones buzz again.
She knows where we are.
But you said... Oh. Oh, no. Fuck!
Paul exits.
I was working in my dreams. I work in my dreams a lot these days. Usually I wake up. I never slept and I'm not awake. I'm becoming an active flow. My actions are the currents I'm being washed away by. I exert nothing and choose nothing. How long have you been with me?
I watched you sleep in your crib. Before that, I whispered to your fetal form in the womb. Before that, I watched your father ejaculate into your mother and fertilize you into an embryo. Before that, I dreamed of you.
That was needlessly crude.
Don't waste my time pretending at mortal sensibilities.
You went bump in the night last night.
That was me being crude.
Trying to scare me?
It's beautiful how ideas can creep into human minds unnoticed. I love your species almost enough.
Cryptic auditory hallucinations, sleeping problems. Oh, God, please don't let me develop schizophrenia right now.
You are possessed. Our bond is still very human. Soon we will perfect you. As a step, we must be introduced.
Show yourself.
Go to the mirror.
Joanne spots a full-length mirror on one side of the room. She cautiously walks towards it, eventually arriving about a step's distance from it.
The problem is I know whatever's going to happen is going to scare me. Hello?
A pair of hands reaches through the mirror and drags Joanne screaming in terror through to the other side where we can't see her anymore. Blackout. Scene 5, Departure. Aaron and Katrina stand across from each other in a hallway.
Mother, you know I'm committed to our mission, right?
I never doubted that.
And you know I love you as much as I always have. I still hesitate when calling you mother. It comes so easily to everyone else, and I know in my head that you chose the family you want. My heart just doesn't seem to let the word mother escape my mouth without that small jolt.
These jolts, as you call them, are usually just a sign of decoherence. Be patient. Trust the process.
I've practiced my cardio meditations. I haven't missed a single lecture. Is there anything else I can do to achieve perfect coherence?
Perfect coherence is nearly impossible. You have to be interacting with nothing to avoid decoherence once in a while. Do you need time in the tank again?
No.
It's not a punishment, it's just a corrective. These challenges are normal, and you have to tunnel your way out. It's like push-ups. Just because they hurt doesn't mean they're causing harm.
I don't need to do time in the tank. Please.
I wasn't threatening you.
No, I know. If you think that time in the tank would benefit me, then of course I'm willing to do it.
This isn't about what I think is going to benefit you. It's about what you think will benefit you.
I guess I'm just more curious. Do others feel the same jolts as me?
We've been over this, haven't we? Who here is the boss of you?
Nobody.
You're staring at your shoes like you expect them to revert to the child labor sneakers you wore when you got here. Am I the boss of you?
No.
Who's the boss of you?
I am.
You are. You're a beautiful animal with a gorgeous spirit. You sat in the nuclear seat like everyone and bore your soul to the ark. You belong with us as you are.
Thank you, Mother.
You felt it again.
Yes, Mother.
Please refrain from addressing me that way until you're ready. I can feel it like a palpitation.
I'm sorry, I'm trying my best.
I don't doubt that. And I'm so proud of you for taking on this struggle. Are you still decoherent because of the thoughts your parents' counselor put in your head?
Maybe.
The agents of the material world excel at defending what they represent. They have to be that way. If they were bad at defending their way of life, they'd have to admit that they have to sacrifice almost all of it for the good of the species.
And I defended my way of life and I came back here instead of letting my parents get to me.
Exactly. You have nothing to worry about.
I defended my way of life very well.
You doubt yourself because you didn't doubt yourself.
Yes.
That's a new idea.
It's very confusing.
I imagine it is.
So what do you think?
I think you've been concealing more than you initially suggested. Share your thoughts. I won't pry them from you.
I'm trying to train my coherence, but I'm homesick. I miss my friends. I miss my parents. I don't know what to do.
Child, are you not grateful for the family and friends you made here?
I'm very grateful.
If you really loved the life we gave you here, you wouldn't feel homesick. I've protected every single soul on this land. I put the burdens of your entire planet on my back, and you speak to me about missing your parents? Where were they when you told them of your calling? Did they rush here to support you? Huh? Of course they didn't. They are parasites, and they'll die with their host. Your world burns, and you'd extinguish your sorrow first. What a narcissistic thing to say. If you're even contemplating leaving, then you'd best take a moment to really consider what it will cost you.
I didn't say I was leaving.
You didn't have to. It always starts with these questions, this curiosity. Your species has an expression about what it does to cats. You know what? I think you should spend some time in the tank. You need to be recalibrated.
I don't want to go in the tank.
I just said you should.
Shaw woman, I'm going to take a vacation.
That's not a thing we do here.
Then I'll do it somewhere else.
It's not safe for you to go somewhere else during a decoherence phase.
I don't think my decoherence phase is going to end, ever. I can't think when I'm here. I want to sleep for 36 hours and wake up to a cup of coffee, and I want to have a pet goldfish. I'm taking a vacation to see my family.
It won't work like that. They'll try to brainwash you the moment they get a hold of you. I don't know if I'll be able to save you if that happens.
It's my responsibility if that happens, so you don't have to try to save me.
Our project is too valuable. I'd have to try, even if you don't deserve it.
If you're telling me that I'm not allowed to leave, you should just say it.
If you did try to leave, you'd be in danger.
Are you threatening me?
I've never threatened you. I love you.
Thank you, Mother.
Exit Aaron. Scene 6, Transference. Joanne stands exposed and alone on the other side of the mirror.
What just happened?
Your motor senses are muted. Your awareness is dimmed. Most people are afraid of being you.
Is this a metaphor?
A delusion.
What do I call you?
Loss.
That's what you represent. You wouldn't call me healthcare research or Aaron's mom.
I am what I inflict.
I refuse to be possessed by a utilitarian demon. If you don't identify yourself, I'll call you Fuzzy Wuzzy.
I am not a bear.
I don't care what you're not.
But not is what I am.
I'm sure you also have no hair.
I do now. Sensation is glorious and overwhelming. For so long, I was miserable and free and impossibly alone.
I guess you wouldn't be possessing people if you were content.
Our bond is predetermined. You never could have prevented my onset, and I could never have sought another companion.
We're soulmates?
Yes, that is what we are. We are tantalizingly close to completion. Though to move forward, I need your consent.
Okay, so whatever that means, the answer's no. I'll have to get on the R&D department for the demon vaccine. We'll make bank in the Catholic community, I'm sure.
Demon's a term you can use for what I am if you wish.
Oh, God, what's the point of being this cryptic? Whatever in my head is inducing these auditory hallucinations is probably genetic.
I'm preternatural.
You're Fuzzy Wuzzy.
Stop calling me Fuzzy Wuzzy.
Then I'll call you Bodie McBoatface.
Ironic distance is too crass for you. Face you.
Don't you dare say face your demons.
Face yourself.
I don't have to do a goddamn thing you tell me. As long as I treat you like what you are, you don't count as a delusion. I'll medicate you into oblivion when I get the chance. I wonder what you'll sound like as you fade away and die in my neurons.
I've stepped forward to offer you a service. The police have been summoned to the motel.
How would you know that?
Preternatural.
That's just a word we use to describe things we don't understand.
Do you understand yourself and your actions?
Of course.
Lies only prolong our discourse. Your species cannot understand itself. I have abilities that differ from yours. I do not understand their mechanisms. I know you are going to be arrested for kidnapping without my intervention. Will you accept my assistance?
You pulled me out of myself somehow, and you're asking for my permission to do what?
Only the process of losing yourself is horrible. Once you're gone, you'll know bliss. I envy you.
You're dodging the question. What do you need my consent for?
I've told you already. Our bond is limited until you submit to my will.
As in, give you my body?
You've made me matter. I'll make you something more.
Fuck off and fuck your wordplay. You've made me matter? Ha ha.
I fucking love the way you resist me. Your struggle sends vibrations through my being and I feel almost alive. Don't give in yet. Let me feel you writhe.
Never become ecstatic again.
I am always ecstatic.
Okay, so I don't give you my body. Do you let me out of whatever this is? I can't literally be inside of a mirror, right?
Joanne, do you remember how we met?
Didn't you dream of me before I was born?
Yes, since you were an abstraction in time, but there was a moment when we first met properly. The first time you saw my face and allowed my first tentative steps into your life. Do you remember?
I never saw your face. You told me to go to the mirror and you pulled me out of myself and put me on the wrong side. That just means you look like me. Oh, shit.
Remember the first time we met?
You were in the car with me and Paul the first time before I left my boyfriend at the time. I saw you in the back window. I thought we were being spied on or about to be attacked like every fucking Thrasher movie coming out at the time. My last thoughts could have been, this is too cliche to be how I die. Mostly instead, I just kind of screamed.
Paul appears in shadow elsewhere on stage.
You're sure you saw someone?
He still had a full-blown erection.
I'll take a look.
Don't.
Joanne, it's fine. I'll just see if someone's peeping.
Just turn on the car, fire it up, turn on the lights, keep the door locked.
Okay.
Nobody was out there except you, of course. Right?
Well, if anyone was out there, they probably were scared. We probably scared them away. Do you want to stop?
The perfect moment to call it off and do things the right way.
All it would have taken was a little willpower.
I don't want to feel alone. Could you just hold me for a minute?
Of course.
The fact that Paul and I are still together always made it seem like it was okay that it started that way. I didn't think a relationship built on a breach of trust would last this long.
Ours did.
Paul disappears.
I don't need whatever you are. Fucking Paul in the backseat of his used sedan wasn't an invitation. Working for Big Pharma doesn't make me the devil. I revoke this permission you think I gave you 20 years ago. Now be gone. The power of Christ compels you.
You don't even understand yourself. You don't even believe yourself when you say that. I'm no loving companion, bitch. No money back guarantee, no sleep on it trial. I can destroy you completely. I can make you kill your entire family and eat their entrails. And you'll scream and you'll scream and you'll scream and you'll scream. And the world will speak your name in hushed and horrified tones before forgetting you were ever alive. Then I'll drag your soul through the Oort cloud and leave you there to drift in the indifferent universe.
That was a lot. That was really a lot. I think you're exaggerating your strength, Fuzzy Wuzzy. You're an incorporeal being that can't even fully control my body without permission.
Watch me.
Joanne assumes a stress position of some kind. She manages to struggle free intermittently before being forced back into the pose.
Okay. Okay, this is really bad. Is this happening in real life? Someone will see me and get me out of this.
And you'll scream, and you'll scream, and you'll scream, and you'll scream.
So your last resort is to torture me without consent? To torture me into consent? Because that's not consent.
I know your duress is for another goal. I need you to start thinking more clearly.
I'm having a psychotic break.
What triggered my onset?
I'm torturing myself because I think I'm torturing my daughter?
Maybe.
I'm still being tortured.
Confess!
Shit, confess what?
If you torture it long enough, it'll confess anything.
You just switched to third person neuter.
Confess!
Confess fucking what?
If you torture it long enough, it'll confess anything.
Oh my fucking God, are you talking about the data? That's an industry joke.
Confess what you did to the data.
I found a usable interpretation. That's not torture.
I gave you hours you didn't think you had, but I also gave you license to put aside your doubts. You twisted the data and squeezed it and cut off pieces until it told you what you wanted to hear.
There's nothing unethical about finding an alternative use.
You're making it look like it was meant to treat pre-symptomatic patients. The company will make hundreds of millions pushing it on doctors who will prescribe it to anyone over 50 who's worried about their memory. Better safe than sorry, they'll say. What a beautiful system.
So what? It doesn't cause any harm.
It'll take years to prove how worthless it is. You've disguised greed as waste and as progress.
That's just how it works sometimes.
Could you have said no?
Of course not, it's my job.
That's hilarious. You are what you represent after all. Give me more.
Holy shit, this hurts.
Your agony is beautiful. But this isn't what I'm here for. Let me set you free.
Anytime you're ready, I'd love to be set free.
Then face yourself. Face who you are.
I'm Joanne. I'm a medical researcher. I'm a mother.
No! What are you?
Stop, please.
Begging won't save you. Only submission. Succumb. Confess.
I manipulated data. I work for Big Pharma. I cheated on my boyfriend. I was emotionally distant from my daughter. What else is on your list?
These are things you have done. Tell me what you are.
I'm human.
You're equivocating. I can cleanse you of your darkest parts of yourself. I can become your new inner life, but you have to expose yourself to me first.
No deal.
Then die, and let us both come to rest at last.
No.
Then say it. I can't say it for you as much as I want to.
No.
Oh, let me stop. Please, let me stop.
Then stop.
Let me.
I'm evil, okay? I'm an evil person who works for an evil corporation with an evil way of life.
I love you so much. How do you live with yourself?
Because you live with me.
Do you want me to set you free?
Yes.
Joanne collapses to the ground and disappears. Scene 7, breaking point. Theo and in Aaron's motel room. Paul is sitting on the bed with his head in his hands. Theo is standing by the door, holding Paul's phone. After a moment, he hands it back to Paul.
Trina's always had a talent for the theatrics.
That's a picture of this motel.
She could have lifted off of Google.
Still means she knows exactly where we are. Why didn't you tell us you escaped?
Use your critical thinking, Dad. Don't rely on me to do your homework for you.
Paul, we should talk outside.
Are you telling me not to talk to my daughter? You scamming amateur piece of shit.
If we're going to fight, then we should do it outside. Let me roll up my sleeves first, at least.
What's wrong with you?
I'm a reformed cultist who deprograms people as a hobby. Or do you mean besides that?
Aaron, I'm sorry. If we knew you were planning on leaving, we wouldn't have done this.
Obviously.
Okay. So if you still want to leave those people, we can help you.
Start by getting rid of him.
Paul, I'll leave if you want, but I really think that we should talk.
You're not part of this anymore.
This is a lot more dangerous than you realize.
I'm pretty sure I realize.
You saw the same look that I did. The way that she was glaring at you in the car for about 5 seconds. Do you not realize what she was thinking?
Don't do that to him.
Do what?
What would go through your head if you were hustled out and into a car to be taken away and tortured?
Tortured?
It's what we were taught to believe that deprogrammers did.
You're playing my parents like a broken slot machine. Keep pulling their levers and they keep paying.
Theo, enough. Get out before I make you.
Do you have any... It's my room. You get out.
Dad, get rid of him. I'll help.
Shut up, Theo. I'm talking to my daughter.
That means nothing right now. Do you get that? You have no idea what she's been through, and I hope you never will. Let me do this.
You've done enough. She hates us now.
I don't hate you. God.
So that's not what you were feeling when you...
I was figuring out the quickest way to kill you and escape the car.
Oh.
In that moment, I figured it all out. This was a test sent by the universe. This is the tunneling the Shaw woman always told us about. The insurmountable barrier I would have to surmount. This was the solution to my crisis of faith. All I had to do was be patient. Once this is over, I'll return and she will accept me without judgment.
Oh, God. Oh, Jesus.
You fill your life with so many empty prayers.
Something caused your crisis of faith in the first place, right, Aaron? What was it?
I'm not giving you an ounce of ammunition.
Oh. Oh, shit. You stared down the barrel, didn't you?
So what? We all did.
Mm-mm. You saw what was in the chambers. Most people don't think to look, but you did, and you panicked, and you ran, and you called your parents because when we don't know what to do, we all turn back into children.
Aaron begins cardio meditation.
Aaron, what are you doing?
I figured we would get to this point eventually.
Theo fires up a portable speaker and starts playing an old dance song, if possible, Maniac. He starts his own variation on cardio meditation, massive smile on his face.
Come on, man. Get into this, lighten up the mood.
Theo continues to beckon Paul onto the dance floor. Erin is pushing herself harder and harder. She's getting fatigued.
Hope you've been doing your morning runs, Paul, because we got out last year. Do you understand?
Oh, I don't fucking understand what's happening.
The door opens. Joanne enters. Paul and Theo turn to look at Joanne. Erin runs to the bathroom. Paul chases her.
Shit, don't let her harm herself.
Screaming in the bathroom as Erin and Paul struggle. Joanne tries to follow, but Theo bars her way.
Listen, Erin left Katrina's ark without permission. When we abducted her, she reverted to her cult identity, and now she's trying to get back. We may have messed this up in a big way, but the only chance that we're going to get now, you have to give me a shot.
Paul drags Erin out of the bathroom, kicking and screaming. He has a pen sticking out of his arm. Theo and Joanne leap into action and restrain Erin to the chair. Paul goes back into the bathroom and extracts the pen.
Oh, should not have done that.
Did you just pull the pen out?
Yeah, that's a lot of blood.
Where did she even get a pen?
Theo goes to the bathroom and helps Paul. Erin continues to struggle and shout. Joanne calmly steps in front of her and puts a finger to her lips. Erin freezes. Theo runs back in and starts ushering Paul and Joanne to the exit.
Okay, Joanne, Paul, get out. Go out and make lunch. Do you understand? Go out and make lunch.
Right. Okay.
Paul exits. Joanne pulls Theo aside.
Police have been dispatched to this motel. You have 5 minutes.
How do you...
You appointed yourself to this task. You will complete it now.
Did something just waft in from outside, or?
We'll be at her mercy in 5 minutes. Until then, she's at yours.
Joanne exits. Beat as both Theo and Aaron try to catch her breath.
Stabbed your father with a pen.
That was a panic thing. I shouldn't have done that.
It's okay. He's forgiven you. I'd like to show you one more thing. Is that all right? I already took the trouble of editing these files together, setting it up on this janky TV, so you may as well humor me.
I'm tied to a chair.
Good point.
Theo turns on the TV. Katrina appears like before, addressing the audience. Katrina is resuming her speech with the revolver.
This revolver has 5 of its 6 chambers loaded. If I put this to my head and pull the trigger, there's an 83% chance that it will fire a bullet. That does mean that, unfortunately, in most potential worlds, you'll watch me die and I won't be able to guide you any further. But my one spirit will follow the path where I continue to live. You can't occupy a body if the body has died. Therefore, I cannot experience death, even if I pull this trigger right now. It would be cruel to deprive so many of you in so many universes, wouldn't it?
What does she do next, Aaron?
Raise your hands if you believe what I say just because I've said it. Oh, a few of you. Well, I'm flattered, honestly. But mostly you're here because what I teach can be proven, right? Can I get a volunteer? Oh, wow, not even a moment's hesitation. All right, come over here.
A figure emerges into the light. It's a slightly younger Theo. He enthusiastically hops on stage to join Katrina.
Oh, you fucking asshole.
Theo, right?
Yes.
And you trust me?
Absolutely.
Would you mind kneeling, Theo?
Are you kidding me?
Theo takes a deep breath and sinks to his knees. Katrina positions herself behind him, points the revolver at the back of his head, and pulls back the hammer. Theo flinches.
This can only kill you. There won't be a universe where you live with the wound, I promise.
He just nods, then takes another deep breath. Katrina holds the moment, then... click. She's pulled the trigger. No bullet is fired. Theo breathes a massive sigh of relief and starts crying.
Should have been a 1 in 6 chance. In most other realities, your brains are all over the stage.
They both laugh, they hug, blackout. Long beat, lights come back up in the motel room.
You fuck.
Language?
You fucking fuck.
Okay, just relax.
No, I'm so mad at you. I am done. I am so done here. Untie me and let me go.
No.
Untie me or I'll smash the chair and hopefully also your skeleton.
Oh, then definitely no.
So you saw that was in the gun too. So what?
I need you to see this in context. I've been in a bunch of groups, spiritual groups, self-healing groups, whatever a lone misfit looking for guidance could find.
You're still avoiding the C word.
Not all were really what you'd call cults, but they all offered a meaningful life. I was on the quest for the capital T truth.
I guess you didn't find it.
You can't find the truth using lies, Aaron.
She gave up everything.
You don't actually believe her backstory.
Don't tell me what I believe.
I can, and I will, because I never believed her either.
You left.
She claims to be possessed by a benevolent alien being that made her invulnerable to technicians, which are also aliens. She said the sound of her voice would just cause possessing technicians to recoil in terror. Everything she taught us was fucking crazy.
She's the only one that can show us a sustainable future.
The only one? You are 19. You're supposed to be growing into your world right now, and instead, you shrank it.
I'm supposed to be finding direction in my life, and I found it. You tried too many directions, and now look at you.
Yeah, sure, look at me. I'm your Mad Max, baby. I'm the road warrior who comes into people's lives, solves their problems, and moves fucking on.
That's so fucked up.
It's nobody's first choice of lifestyle. But you know what? I'm free. What about you? It is still gunpoint, even if the gun is empty.
Okay, so the gun was empty. You're trying to convince me that the worst thing she did was not endanger anyone's life. What actually matters to you, Theo?
The truth. The truth matters to me.
And what is the capital T truth?
No idea. Pretty fucking wild, isn't it?
Theo presses send on a text message. A moment later, the door opens. Joanne and Paul enter holding a disposable bowl with a plastic fork and spoon in it. Steam wafts from the bowl. They bring the bowl in front of Erin as Theo undoes her restraints.
And spaghetti, just like after soccer practice. Not a single organic ingredient.
Erin chuckles a bit, and then her slow cry turns into uncontrollable sobbing that grows increasingly violent. Theo goes to the bathroom and runs the water for a moment. He comes out with a damp towel, which he hands to the parents.
This will help a bit.
Joanne puts the cool towel to her daughter's forehead. This contact distresses Erin even more.
Please, 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 just don't look at me right now.
Theo nods to the other two, and they make their way out of the room. Erin continues to cry this way for a few moments before realizing that Joanne didn't leave, but is instead standing in a darker corner of the room.
We weren't fair to you.
Thanks.
You're an adult now. You're entitled to pursue your beliefs, your lifestyle, without us trying to control you.
You say that now.
A lot's changed.
Yeah, no kidding.
I've changed.
Yeah.
You're gonna have to make a tough decision in about a minute.
Yeah?
Look at me. Look at my shadow.
Oh God. No.
You were always skeptical. You told yourself this was a cool group of people, all this alien possession stuff, really just a quirk.
Get out of her! Get out of my mom, do you hear me? Get out!
That's not fair. How would you feel if I said that to your shitty ex-boyfriend? Get out of my daughter, you oily skeleton?
What the fuck?
In the backseat of his parents' car in our driveway. Did you even try finding a parking lot?
Why are you revealing yourself?
Better question. Why haven't Theo and Paul come back yet?
Blue and red lights flash outside the room.
Oh.
Like I said, a tough decision.
I can't believe this.
Your father's worried you hate him. Your mother truly believes that you hate her.
She knows I don't.
If she did, she might have resisted me more. It's a pity.
The door begins to open. Blackout. Scene 8, self-expression. Erin standing and addressing an unseen police officer in the motel parking lot.
I thought I was really learning something beautiful. We grew our own food out there. We rotated crops and stayed away from pesticides, GMOs, all of it. It was hard work, but it was beautiful in its way. I know I could probably go back there, but I don't think I can believe in it again. My mom's totally convinced that she's evil because she took a job in Big Pharma. It's like her whole sense of morale, clarity rides on what I do with my life now. And yeah, I've stomped my feet and showed her that I hated her before slamming my door. And I did run off to join an eco-apocalyptic cult, but I don't think she's evil. You spend so long thinking of the ways parents affect their kids. You don't think so much about how it can go the other way around. I actually had a pretty good childhood. So I get that you want me to decide if I'm pressing charges against my parents for abducting me against my will. It's tempting. That's the key phrase, though, isn't it? Against my will. I used to think it was a self-explanatory sort of idea, but now it's like what happens when I try to spell the word color, and I use the, I know that there's a U there because Canada, but I can't. I got spell checked on Microsoft so often that the U just looks weird now. If you lay out the series of events, I've definitely survived some crimes. I haven't been myself lately. I'm not sure what myself is. I don't think my parents or Theo really represent a threat to my safety anymore. And I'm not sure I'll get anything out of their punishment. I don't think I believe in punishment. So no, I'm not going to press charges against anybody. Theo, Katrina, Mom and Dad, any of them. Thank you, though. Thank you for asking me what I want to do. It's been a while since anyone's done that.
Scene 9, expulsion. Back inside the motel, specifically Joanne and Paul's room. Joanne and Paul enter quietly and start packing. After a moment, Aaron enters.
Thank you, Aaron. I know this hasn't been easy for you.
Aaron, you all right?
Theo mentioned she might have periods of drifting. Aaron, can you hear me?
Dad, I'm going to need you to assist me.
Oh, sure, honey. What do you need help with?
I've only seen Katrina do this. Most of the battle happens in the space between the things we can see and hear. That said, there's going to be a lot of yelling and screaming. Eventually, if I can break through the pretense, she'll probably become violent. I'll need your help restraining her.
What?
Smell that?
Your mother doesn't like us pointing it out.
Dad, I need you to understand the gravity of what's about to happen in this room. Mom, I love you, but I don't think you're speaking on your own behalf right now.
It's all right, Paul. Let's just go along with it.
No, I'm not doing that. I'm getting Theo in here.
We shouldn't involve more people, Dad.
I actually agree he's done enough here. Aren't you the one who tried throwing him out earlier?
Well, that was before this thing actually worked.
Are you getting the impression from Aaron that it worked?
Shit. Okay, why do you want Theo in here?
I don't.
I hate the pretense phase. All these mind games.
Enter Theo.
Aaron, you doing okay?
Theo, if you want to spend the rest of your life without being in another thrall, if you think your physical and mental well-being are important, you will fuck off right now.
Okay, what'd I miss?
I really don't know for sure, but it sounds like Aaron wants to perform an exorcism on my wife.
Is this normal, Theo? Part of the drifting you were talking about?
Yeah, could be. Is that true, Aaron? You exercising your mom?
Did you have to make that sound like a porn tag?
Driving, forcing, expelling.
Oh, I hate you.
Not helping, Theo.
Aaron, you know that exorcisms are dangerous, real or not.
Sorry, but I've had enough of your shit talk right now, okay? My mom's soul is hostage to some evil alien shit, and everyone's so focused on me because of all of this. I'm the one who's out of my mind. If anyone here tries to stop me, I'll change my statement to the cops, and you'll all go to jail. Have I cleared up the situation here at all?
Yes.
All clear.
This is insane. We hired a stranger to kidnap you from a cult, and now you're trying to perform an exorcism on your mother. Theo, are you actually about to participate in this? I thought you were the one that was supposed to stop her from believing all this bullshit.
My job was to free her from following Katrina. She can still believe whatever she wants.
You're a fucking fraud.
Let me speak to the entity possessing Joanne. What is your name?
Aaron, stop it.
Dad, I've had it up to here with people telling me what to believe.
Paul, it's okay. Just let her focus. Aaron, you forgot the first part.
Oh, right. Mom, are you sorry for your sins?
Dins?
Look, Katrina's arc was always a bit quasi-religious, so I'm just using what I got. Okay, you did some things wrong. Are you sorry?
What did I do that was so wrong?
You tell me.
Are you asking me to apologize for kidnapping you?
You haven't yet.
I freed you from a cult that was abusing and isolating you. It was the right thing to do in the end, even if it was painful and scary for all of us.
You make it sound like you did me a favor. I had a sense of purpose in my life and now it's gone.
We just wanted you back.
You were breaking your back with hard labor every day. You were having your mind filled with poison by her lectures. You were cut off from the outside world. Why are you trying to make me feel guilty about getting you out of there? Were you happy?
No.
Then why would I apologize?
Because nobody's happy, but at least I was fulfilled. Do you get that out of your job?
A job's a job, Aaron. There's more to life than how you pay your bills.
How you pay the bills matters. You could find something where you actually help people.
Actually help people. I'm sorry you're not proud of me. I'm sorry I don't work for a charity or a research hospital. Most of the jobs in drug research are in the private sector because that's where the money is. You know what, though? Because of me, you could go to any university you wanted debt-free, and instead you ran off to a farming cult in fucking Chatham. And the last time we hear from you is you rejecting the way we live is evil. Do you have any idea what it's like to realize your daughter is ashamed of you?
I'm not ashamed of you.
Who wrote those words then? Don't tell me she wrote them for you.
I wrote them.
Your own free will?
I submitted my will.
And how about now? Are you my daughter or her follower? You get to choose this time. That's a choice influenced by every bias you've ever had, every word you've read or heard, the DNA your dad and I gave you, the movies you've watched, the friends you've had, and the weird quantum fluctuations happening in your neurons. If you keep at this exorcism routine, all that tells us is that you're still letting Katrina define you.
Long beat as Aaron sits down.
Are we done?
I think so.
Joanne moves towards Aaron. Aaron picks up a remote from the nightstand and turns on the TV. Katrina appears mid-lecture. The sight of it causes Joanne to immediately recoil.
We should be happy, shouldn't we? The poorest person in this room lives with such material and social means that would make the kings of old mad with envy.
Honey, what's wrong?
Odd.
Give me that.
Get
She's
off
trying
of
to
her!
attack Aaron. Paul and Theo grapple with Joanne, holding her back from Aaron.
Give
Me?
that.
You're real. Why couldn't I just be crazy? You fucking bitch. You fucking bitch.
Calm down, Aaron. You've dropped her pretense. Now we have to see it through.
Honey, what are you doing?
I'm opening and closing a door at the same time.
Katrina's voice makes technicians freak out.
Fuck the species.
She turns off the TV and smashes the remote.
Sorry, honey.
I'll have to hurt you now.
Joanne knocks Paul off his feet and stomps on his chest. He's left sputtering for air and clutching his ribs. Theo stands his ground. Aaron exits through the front door.
Aaron, where are you going? You know what? Fuck it. I'll do it myself. In the name of Shaw woman Katrina, I command you to identify yourself.
Call me Fuzzy Wuzzy.
Call me Bodie McBoatface.
Call me what you will. We will call you fool.
You are barely able to expel bad ideas from teenage girls.
You will not expel us. Joanne is ours now. Would you stand before the firing squad and give commands?
I would confuse the shit out of that firing squad and add 5 hilarious seconds to the end of my life. Go ahead and shout out all of my darkest secrets at me. I sat in that nuclear chair. I've had a whole crowd of people do that to me.
Oh, she's really strong.
I stand between you and the rest of the world. Now, for the last time, identify yourself and face me without the shield of this stolen body.
I was really hoping you'd insist.
My name is Alien.
And no one will ever believe I made you puke blood without touching you.
Theo starts puking blood. He collapses to the ground, wheezing for air.
Sorry I called you a con artist.
Yeah. How are your ribs?
Does the searing pain when I breathe mean they're broken?
Yeah, probably.
Oh, you're puking blood.
Yeah, and I'm billing fucking extra for this.
Oh,
Joanne moves to exit but stops before arriving at the door. Erin returns with an unopened can of spaghetti, holding it before herself like a holy ward.
This is so fucking stupid. You took my new life away from me with a bowl of spaghetti. How the hell did you decide that this would work? And how the hell did it turn out to be true? So fuck it. I'm bringing you back the same way. Whatever this thing has made you okay with, you will now expel it.
You can't believe that this will work.
I don't believe in a goddamn thing. I'm not even sure you really exist, or if my mom's just gone nuts, or if I've just gone nuts. I think we've all gone a bit nuts. Now quit fucking around and fight me.
Faltering slightly?
I know how you work. You get to latch onto our shame, and I've run fresh out of it.
That's hilarious!
Your whole species is hilarious.
Your shame is spilling over the sides of you.
All of your beliefs are dead, and you hate yourself for believing any of it. You'll never discover faith in anything ever again.
You did just prove that Katrina was right, though. She just did everything wrong. There's a right way to do this, and I'm going to figure it out.
Wait. If that means
you
that
aren't invited, I still hate you.
What does it mean?
It means that she's gonna start a cult.
Oh, Jesus Christ.
Without us, Joanne will face every decision alone.
She will have to reclaim responsibility for everything. You'll destroy her in removing me.
Mom destroyed me to get me back, so I'm good with this. And Mom, if you value what this stupid spaghetti represents, then you will help me send this alien piece of shit packing.
You will not
drive us out.
I am no parasite.
We are symbiotic.
We need each other.
I need my mom, and you're in the way. Now give her up.
What just happened?
Paul gets to his feet. Theo tries but collapses against a wall. Erin crosses to the front door.
Erin, where are you going?
Like I said, I'm going to figure it out.
Come back.
I'll get her.
He slowly and painfully exits. After a beat, Joanne reaches under the bed and pulls out her laptop.
Was that all real?
Could have been.
Yeah, but all of it?
Seems pretty fucking real.
What are you gonna do now?
Probably keep doing this.
Even though Katrina's right?
Yeah. What about you?
Blackout. End of play. Okay, cool. Yeah, if everyone wants to turn on the video again, say hello. Wow. Okay, so thank you so much to everybody who tuned in tonight and everybody who watches this after the fact. I want to thank Evan Boutsov, Breanna Maloney, Kate McArthur, Brandon Knox, and Allison Shea Reed for bringing all those characters to life. If you enjoyed tonight's performance, drop us a line at skippingstonestheater@gmail.com. We'll add you to our mailing list, keep you up to date. You can also follow us on Facebook and Instagram. We're at Skipping Stones Theater. Thank you once again for joining us. Keep safe, keep well, and everybody have